Alright guys, welcome back to the video. So we've got a whole bunch of work to do today, and it's a short day in the shop because I gotta go to the market later on. So we're gonna start by getting all of our mortises hogged out here. I've got the spiral bit loaded back up into the router here. I've already got the depth set, so we should be good to go. I'm really hoping that this bit is gonna work for doing these mortises. I think it should be fine because like I said yesterday, the straight bit wasn't much of an improvement over this bit. So I think it's mostly just the fact that we're working with hard maple, and I know this is a plunge bit because we've already plunged with it before. So then once we have all of our mortises hogged out, then we'll move over to the table saw, get our tenons cut onto all those pieces, which should then fit up into here perfectly, and then we should actually have some structure coming together, at least for our side rails. Our footboard, we still gonna need to get the legs and that together, but for the most part, this should be all we need. So one of the things I want to mention about working with hard maple is that the more that you mill it, the more you get a nice smooth surface on here, the more it's going to have a tendency to grip onto very flat surfaces. You know, things like the bed of your planer or your table saw here. And the reason this happens is because maple has a very tightly packed grain structure. When you put that piece down on that flat surface, it forces all of the air out and creates a form of suction. So this is one of the only woods where I've ever really experienced this. You'll see it a little bit with walnut and cherry, less so with oak and that. But again, even with those woods, when you get them very flat, they will have a tendency to stick. But nothing sticks like maple, which I always find very funny. So your best friend when working with maple is going to be paraffin wax. Now, I don't know if I talked about this at the beginning of this project or in the last bed frame that I built, but I use paraffin wax on everything. So I was noticing that as I was sliding these pieces, even though I'm just pushing them across the table saw here with my miter gauge, I was noticing that they were gripping to the table and there was resistance as I was pushing it over. So all I did is I just rubbed some paraffin wax over the whole surface here, in the T-slot here that's holding the miter gauge, coated everything in a thin layer of paraffin wax. From there on, I had no issue sliding these pieces around. Okay, so real quick before I show you the frames, now that they're all together, I just want to take a moment to just talk about the YouTube side of things. I'll put a little time code here if you guys want to skip past this part. But a lot of you guys in the comments on yesterday's video especially, but just kind of all the way through this whole daily uploads thing, a lot of you guys have been showing your support, and I just want to say I really appreciate it. And one of the biggest comments I've gotten is that I hope that you get more views. I hope that your channel grows from this. Just super positive, supportive stuff. And again, I want to say thank you to all of you guys who have taken the time to leave comments and that. Every time you guys leave a comment, like the video, and subscribe, that genuinely helps build up the channel now. Unlike a lot of other YouTubers, I don't like to say that in every single video because I think that it gets annoying. But every once in a while, I just want to say thank you to all you guys that do, comment, like, and subscribe to all my videos. It is super helpful, and I genuinely appreciate having you guys around. So one thing I do want to show you guys, this is the video that I uploaded yesterday for you guys, today for me. And you can see that we're at 74 views currently, and we got a little green arrow there beside it. Now what that means is that compared to my standard video uploads, which is, usually comes in between 40 and 70 views within the first 3 hours, we are up by those 4 extra views. And so I know that doesn't seem like anything massive, but what's really cool here is that's what it's been on basically all of these daily videos for the past couple weeks. The first 2 weeks when I was doing the daily uploads, I went through basically what I was calling the death spiral of my channel. I was losing tons of subscribers a day. I was getting decent views, but mainly I was just losing tons of subscribers each day as I kind of transitioned in. But about a week and a half ago, all of that just kind of stopped, and the subscribers just kind of started going up. The view numbers just started going up. And for the past, I'd say 5 days, every single video I've uploaded, I've gone above what I'm, above the typical, which is just great. Every new video I'm putting out is just a little bit of a step up towards, the next level, which is just so cool for me to see. And I do genuinely hope you guys are enjoying the series so far. But let's take a look at these frames because they are freaking massive. Okay, so check these things out. These are the 2 side rails, and then I've got the footboard all still on the bench here, but these are massive. Remember in the last project how we had those 2 giant slabs of walnut that were 12 inches by 84 inches? Well, these ones are 19 inches by 84 inches, and we still have to cut our tenons into them. We're adding in our panels and all that. So these are already bloody heavy. These are going to get way heavier once we actually go in and fill the spaces in here. So I love the way these look. They're big, they're hefty, they're just beautiful looking. I'm so happy with how they've come out. We still have a lot of cleanup work to do here, but I'm super just thrilled at the way that these are looking at the moment. And so I'm not going to make any big decisions today, but one of the things that I was thinking about is one of my biggest worries with this whole thing is aligning your mortise and tenon joinery on the top end here with the tenons that we're eventually going to have, and having this whole shoulder line and this side of this piece all line up is going to be a challenging thing to do. But what I was thinking is if I leave the pieces like this, finish off our whole side here, get everything all glued up and nicely put together, then we go in and cut our tenons afterwards, that may actually be the easiest course of action compared to trying to cut our tenons now and hoping that they line up with this piece here. So I'm very quickly watching the clock tick down as I run out of time in the shop because I have to go to that market this afternoon. So the last thing I want to do today is get these panels fitted up into these areas here because we still have some final fitting of the tenons to do, the dado stack and the table saw, mainly because of the way my miter gauge works is, it's not a very good miter gauge. It doesn't cut a perfectly clean shoulder, so we still have some cleanup work to do, but no matter what's left to do on there, we still have enough movement and room in our grooves and that to make up for any inconsistencies there. So we can get all these panels fitted up and see just how good our side rails and our footboard is going to look with all that together. Okay, so these are looking pretty good. So we got the footboard right in front here, and I really am kind of loving how this stuff is looking right now. Normally, the furniture that I build is usually two-tone, so we've usually got a mixture of woods, either white oak and walnut, or walnut and white oak, basically. But I do throw in some changes in there. But overall, I do generally like when you have two tones. But every once in a while, it is cool to do a piece of furniture that's just one type of wood. Right now, we've got a lot of ugly shadows and that are coming in and that. Once we get in and do our step design and soften all these edges with a nice round over, these pieces are going to look so much better. So this is all we're going to do for today. I'm thinking that tomorrow when I come to the shop, we're going to either start on the headboard and get that caught up to the same stage we are with the rest of these, because we just have to flatten those big panels. That's going to be a nightmare. And then cut all of our joinery in that, which we already have the router set up for. So that might be the best option. Or the other thing we can do is get our side rails all ready to be glued up and put together into one solid object. So we've got those two separate things we can do, and I'll try and decide tonight which one I think is better to do. But anyway, I'm super happy with this. Again, the track saw super handy for doing these panels. A lot easier than doing it on the table saw, I would say. Definitely something to consider. So as always, guys, I do hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.